Right now, though, let's take a look at last night's debate. During the contentious moment, maybe the most contentious, the Clinton Foundation once again came under attack. Watch this.
It's a criminal enterprise. Saudi Arabia giving $25 million, Qatar, all of these countries. You talk about women and women's rights. So these are people that push gays off buildings. These are people that kill women and treat women horribly, and yet you take their money. So I'd like to ask you right now, why don't you give back the money that you've taken from certain countries that treat certain groups of people so horribly? Why don't you give back the money? I think it would be a great gesture.
Well, Democratic strategist Jessica Ehrlich joins us now to explain Hillary's answer. Jessica, great to see you tonight. So this is not a partisan point at all. This is a sincere question. Why wouldn't Hillary Clinton return that $25 billion that she took from a country in which women are not allowed to drive, not allowed to use public swimming pools, not allowed to go unaccompanied in public without a man, have to cover themselves, are treated like second-class citizens and segregated, a country where gays are murdered legally, where they are arrested for the crime of being gay, and a country where being Jewish is illegal? Would she take money from the Klan and say, oh, I'm using it for good, it's okay? She wouldn't, would she?
No, I don't think so. And I think in this scenario, you're actually looking at a case where the money went towards a huge amount of charitable work that was done around the world and actually was taken from people who often do bad things and used for a good purpose, which is in contrast. I mean, I think the same could be said for Donald Trump and his business dealings. He's got multiple buildings and Trump buildings in the Middle East. He sold the Plaza Hotel to Arab sheiks. I mean, is he going to give back the money that he pocketed from those deals, of all the dealings that he's done business with?
I don't think that's not a crazy point. I guess here would be the distinction I would make, is that Trump is saying, look, I'm a businessman and I do what it takes to make money, as people who engage in capitalism do. Hillary Clinton, who wouldn't know capitalism, but got in the shower with her, is making a very different argument. And she's saying, I do good, I save lives. I'm a good person in contrast to this monster, this fascist. And yet she's taking money from a country where literally Jews are described as apes in official textbooks given to children. Like, how can you square that circle?
Well, I think part of it also is we're talking about a group of people who happen to be some of our strongest allies in the region. So, you know, there's a very fine line that everyone treads here. I mean, this is going back, including, you know, with the Bush family and the balance of power that happens in the Middle East. I mean, I don't disagree with you in terms of, you know, the kind of money that's coming through, but it's not, you know, that they took money for the organization from drug peddlers or things like that. They took a donation and then turned around and used it as most of the money does. I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about the CGI, the Clinton Global Initiative, is that they spend almost 90 cents of every dollar doing tremendous amounts of programs for children with HIV in Africa, in countries all over the world.
I'm not going to, we could argue about that, but I'm not even going to contest any of that. I mean, I think that's up for debate, but we won't debate it now. I just want to get back to the distinction you made between Saudi Arabia and drug dealers. So you're saying it would be immoral to take money from drug dealers, even if you did good with it, but it's somehow moral and righteous to take money from a country that murders gay people for being gay. Explain that distinction, if you would.
I don't think it's a moral or righteous argument that there's a distinction. I think what happens is when this is a country that is actually one of our strongest partners in that region. So we're not involved in the Middle East, whereas we are not doing, you know, taking donations and things. I mean, and this is also a purely charitable organization that she was not at the helm of while all this was happening. So, I mean, there is definitely a distinction there, particularly to what we were saying before about the opposite, where, you know, Donald Trump says these things now, but he has no problem in the past and currently doing business in this area with these very people.
I'll concede a lot, but
so
hold on.
He's purely profiting from it.
Know what the terms are, just really clearly. Is there any group in the world, the North Koreans, the Klan, Westboro Baptist Church, that the Clinton Foundation would not take money from on moral grounds? Is there any group at all, do you think?
Well, I don't work for the Clinton Foundation, so I can't speak to who they take money from.
What do you think? I mean, since you're defending it, what do you say? Is there some group that would cross the line, that does something worse than murder?
I'm sure there are many groups that would cross the line, and I'm sure there are groups that have crossed the line that they haven't accepted money for. But I don't think a group necessarily like a country of people from Saudi Arabia, who are people that we engage with all the time, that we have, you know, flyover treaties with, that we work intensively with Jordan. I mean, we have to have these relationships. relationships. So, you know, there could be something said, too, to the fact that if you reject money from them, it could injure our relationship that we have there. And that's not a positive thing for what we're trying to accomplish, what we need to accomplish, and for our safety.
So for the sake of America, you've got to take $25 million from the Saudis. I get that. Okay, good. Well, I'm open for business. Jessica, it's great to see you.
Well, I think that's Trump's argument, is that he personally profited as opposed to using that money to then help children around the world. I mean, I think there's a huge distinction
I'm not here to defend
there
Trump.
that's very clear.
Here's the one thing I would say.
Clear.
Is that Trump is just not the moralizer that she is. And she's up there and she's like, you're a bad person, I'm a good person. You know, okay, once you start down that road, like, I think it's fair to look at where you're getting your money. And if it's from people who still get it,
I find that an incredible argument. I mean, that's exactly what Trump does say continuously. He always says that he's a better person, a smarter person, a bigger person than everyone else around him. I mean, that's the very nature of every argument he makes.
Well, if he's making a moral,
if he's making a moral claim, he's better, he's a better person, he's more charitable. I mean, that's what he says. So, you know, if he's going to attack a foundation that has been proven over and over that, you know, I mean, all the Bush presidents have actually even worked with them on various initiatives.
So your standard is the Donald Trump. So if Trump does it, it's okay. That's good. I'm just as an ethicist, I'm trying to get to the bottom here. We're unfortunately out of time. Jessica, game job. I appreciate it.
Thanks.